This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? I just noticed I bought this map and it's in French and Dutch. Anyway, hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today on this paper road map ASMR video, I'm looking at New Zealand, or for no particular reason in French, Nouvelle-Zélande, or New Zealand in Dutch. I'm hoping this video is nice and relaxing. On this channel we look at maps of different countries. We just did Poland last week, and we've done the US, Australia. I've got loads to do. Oh, we did Japan as well, didn't we? Today we are going to do New Zealand. I'll start from the north and work downwards in a southerly direction. Listen to that sound. So today we're going to look at the country that gets left off all the maps. I honestly have a thing now where I look at a map and immediately look to see whether they've left off New Zealand, because it happens an inordinate amount of times. So New Zealand, I have actually been to this country. It has to be right up there. One of my favourite places I have been on the planet. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. For me, it was about the nature and the lovely, lovely people was a bonus. I've said on this channel a couple of times, apart from the Welsh, then in terms of where I visited, the people are the nicest here in New Zealand, and I'm split between here and Ireland. So if you want to go and meet some lovely, lovely people, so friendly, so helpful, this is your place to go. I didn't do any of the sort of extreme sports. In New Zealand, a Kiwi friend of mine was like, why are you going then if you're not going to like bungee jump or whatever? And I was like, well, you know, just want to go see Hobbiton. But yeah, I loved it. So let's take a look. Let's get our bearings a little bit. We have the Pacific Ocean up here. This is the Tasman Sea, leading off into Tasmania. Quite a way away, but still Tasmania. We're going to take a look at the peninsula in a second, at the top end of North Island, but it says North Island, Te Ika a Maui. And you'll see a lot of Maori words, rightly so, during this video. The most important one, which I got ready just in case it didn't say it somewhere, so I knew how to pronounce it. New Zealand, in Maori, Aotearoa. Aotearoa. So, we're going to take a look, to begin with, at this peninsula at the north end here. So this is Northland, and there aren't a great deal of, well, to be honest, throughout the whole of New Zealand there aren't many massive cities, but there certainly aren't in this small section here. We do, if I can peek them, yeah I can, into shot, we have the Three Kings Islands, North East Island, Great Island and Prince's Island at the top here as well. We have the Great Exhibition Bay, where we can see such places as Cape Kari, Grenville Point, I'm assuming, the Bluff, and right at the north here we've got North Cape, Cape Reinga, and Cape Reinga Lighthouse. So I'm assuming that's like our John O'Groats in Great Britain is the northernlymost point of the mainland. And as we creep down a little bit past Ahipara Bay, the Tauroa Peninsula, we can see our Nui, Kaitaia. Is that an L or an I? I think it's an I, Kaitaia. Kaikobe, and the larger settlement of Whangarei. Lots of beaches up here. The geography and the climate between North Island and South Island is quite remarkably different, especially in different seasons. We landed in Auckland, we'll talk about that in a second, in the middle of a tropical storm when we went, and about 2 days later we flew down to South Island, and it was like completely different season, completely very calm. And yeah, it was, I said, oh, you know, it was a tropical storm in the north, and they were like, oh, was it? Completely disparate experiences, I think, in terms of weather and also geography. Okay, so we have Auckland, I don't know what they are, states or provinces, and then Auckland itself is just here. So, if I remember correctly, we landed in Auckland, and then we went out in the bay. This is the Gulf here. We went out on a boat to go and spot some whales and seals and dolphins. But unfortunately we didn't see any whales because the storm had scared them all off, but we saw a couple of dolphins. They came right up to the boat, actually. This is near Takapuna, Orewa, Helensville, Henderson, Auckland Airport is here, Papakura, Manukau City Centre. And then we have the Colville Channel, and that separates the Great Barrier, Aotea Island, from the Mercury Islands. And this peninsula here, let's see if I can find the Coromandel Peninsula. Coromandel itself is here. We can see Thames as well. And Whangamata, to the southernmost point of it. On this part here we can see a harbour, Kaipara Harbour, where we see North Head and Rangitira Beach. And then we start coming down into the main part of North Island. So we can see a couple of larger urban areas in this area. We start off with Hamilton, just here, just to the south of Auckland, and Tauranga, over here. We can also see places like Cambridge, Te Awamutu, Rotorua, which is here, Te Kuiti, and this area here, you can see the district is called Waikato. Waikato. On the coast we can see Raglan, Tanau Rocks. And as we go down the west coast, past Tirua Point and Waikawau Beach, crossing into Taranaki, we can see Waitara and then New Plymouth. Obviously a lot of place names are after British settlements. Considerable number of Scottish people, I believe, emigrated originally, much like they did to eastern Canada. So New Plymouth is here, Okato, and we see the Egmont National Park with Mount Egmont in the middle, before coming across Epunake and Hawera. Stratford is also here. This area in the centre here is called Manawatu, and we can see, how am I going to say this, Raetihi. Take a stab at it. Sound confident. And Ohakune in the Waganui district. And then we have Taupo, and that's near Lake Taupo. And the craters of the moon. Sounds very cool. The Karanga Hape cliffs are also here. And then on the east coast, on the Bay of Plenty, apart from a couple of islands, we have Wakari Island, or White Island, and Major Island, Tuhua, as well as the Marine Reserve. And we come down and we have Orokawa Bay, Waihi Beach, and the larger Tauranga. Mount Maunganui is here as well. And then we have Edgecombe and Wakatane. Before we look at this little peninsula going out here of the Bay of Plenty, Hicks Bay is at the top here with East Cape. Aroa. And it comes down to, I'm going to say, I never heard it pronounced, Gisborne or Gisborne? Gisborne. The gable end, foreland, and Gisborne is the locality as well. We also have a bird sanctuary here. Before we come down the coast, and we are on the Mahia Peninsula here, with Table Cape and Hauriri Point, Portland Islands also here. Before coming into Hawke Bay, where we see Wairoa. Hawke's Bay is also the name of this area. And as we come down further along the coast, passing Porerere, we can see lots of more beaches, as well as Hastings and Napier. The National Aquarium of New Zealand is here, as well as MTG Hawke's Bay and a gannet colony, apparently, just off the coast of Hastings and Clive. So let's travel further south then along the east coast. Akitio is here, Castle Point, Riversdale Beach. And as we come into the southern part now of North Island, or Te Ika Maui, we can see a couple more areas of interest, one of which is Palmerston North. I think that says Ashurst, and Danavik, perhaps Danavik it says. Ahiatua, Levin, as well as Foxton and Foxton Beach, Himatangi, and we also have the RNZAF base for the Air Force Museum as well. So I can't read that. Does it say Shannon, perhaps? We also have Masterton here, Riversdale Beach, Honeycomb Rocks, sounds very nice. We have Upper Hutt, Greytown, Carterton, and this area now is Wellington because at the peak, at the very bottom, we have the very large city of Wellington, as well as Lower Hutt to go with Upper Hutt, Haywards, Poirirua, Plimerton, Paekakariki, Paraumu, and Waikanae, as well as Kapiti Island, which apparently has a bird sanctuary there as well. Lake Ferry is at the peak, is at the sort of part here of Palliser Bay. Cape Palliser is down here. There's also a seal colony down here as well. Okay, so something that always gets me about New Zealand is that Wellington is the capital city of the country, but it's not the largest. Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand. I've just got some stats in front of me to read out. So Auckland has a population, including its larger urban area, of 1.5 million. Then we have Christchurch in number 2 position, which is 400,000. Wellington's actually third largest with 208,000. Then you have Hamilton, Tauranga, Lower Hutt, the one I always pronounce wrong, Dunedin. I'm going to say it like that and cross my fingers. Palmerston North, Hibiscus Coast, Napier, New Plymouth, etc. So that does mean that the majority of the larger settlements are on North Island. So now we're going to move down to South Island. And we can see the South Taranaki Bight is here. Before we start looking at the very beautiful South Island. Quite different in its topography, a bit in terms of the geographical nature of it. So the Northern Island's a bit sort of greener, more populated, and South Island is quite famed for its glaciers, its fjords, its mountain peaks, and its generally rugged and very, very beautiful nature. Okay, I'll focus on this bit before I put the map down. So we can see across the water here is the top of South Island, and this area here is called Tasman, and the next is called Marlborough. We can see lots of islands here, including Stevens Islands. We have a bird sanctuary and gannet colony here. We have Farewell Spit Nature Reserve on the Farewell Spit. Very interesting piece of geography there on Cape Farewell. Then in the Golden Bay we can see the Abel Tasman National Park. Then we have Separation Point. Then we have Riwaka, Nelson. I'm going to say this is Blenheim. Picton is here as well. And then Marlborough Sounds Maritime Park. Again, lots of different islands and crags and coves. Long Island, for example. Lucky Point, Robertson Point, Cloudy Bay. And the Cook Strait, probably named after Captain Cook. So we've seen Nelson and Blenheim. It's probably pronounced like Blenheim or something, isn't it? Birch Hill is here, Malvern Hills, the the Atawara Valley with the Atawara River. St. Bernard. And then we can see these areas here. So this one, see if I can find the name of it. Where is it? So you can say Reefton is here. And then Greymouth down here, the Paparoa National Park. But I can't see the name in purple for this region anywhere. How strange. Maybe it's just me. Probably a really obvious place. But I can't see it. Maybe it's further down. It's quite a long one. It seems to go all the way down here. We have the Paparoa Range as well, mountain range. And the Tasman Mountains. And then we have this split in two. And again, it must be further down because I can't see any name here. But we can see Kaikoura and the whale watching seal colony at the end here, near Goose Bay and Spyglass Point. Rainbow Valley in the middle here, next to the Raglan Range. Mount Hopeless, 2,000 feet, 2,278 feet. Lots of national parks here. And South Island with its Maori name Te Waipounamu. And the second largest city is coming into view here. Just after Pegasus Bay, we can see Christchurch on the east coast of South Island. Banks Peninsula is here. Lake Ellesmere also. Okay, I'm going to have to do something funky because of course the island's going that way, so I need to fit it in for you. Give me a second. So, it seems that this very large state province is called West Coast, and this one, also absolutely massive, is called Canterbury. Rangiora is here. We have Mount Hutt ski area here, Methven, Ashburton, Fairley, and the Mount Cook National Park, Abraki, is here. Mount Tasman, 3,497 feet. Then we can see the Franz Josef Glacier. And this is where all the interesting geography comes into play. We have the saltwater lagoon here, the white heron colony, the Okarito Lagoon. Then we have another national park. This is the Westland Tai Putini, just next to Gillespie's Point and Gillespie's Beach. And we have this stunning area coming up very soon with the fjords. These are called the Southern, did it say Alps? The Southern Alps, interesting. So we saw Fairley, Geraldine, Ashburton, we're on the Canterbury Bight here. I've never seen this word before, Bight, with a GH. Teimuka is here. Waimate. Ote Matata is there. And Twizzle. Interesting. There's a hydro station here. Mount Sutton at 1,900 feet. And then we have Mount Aspiring National Park, Cascade Gorge, Cascade Forest. And then this area here is called Otago. Otago. And we can see the one I'm terrified about pronouncing, Dunedin. I think I mislearned it originally, and I used to pronounce it Dunedin, as if it's like some word from Lord of the Rings. But it is actually a Gaelic word, or Gaelic word. It's related to the word for Edinburgh, I believe. Because I'm trying to think of the word in Welsh for Edinburgh. What do we say? Castell Edin. I think we say Edin. So something to do with the castle of a person called Edin, I think. Port Chalmers is here. When we travelled to New Zealand, we couldn't actually get to Dunedin because there had been an earthquake and the railway lines had smashed and you couldn't get there by railway. It was completely isolated. It was a very strange experience to be told you can't get somewhere. Moskeel. It was a terrible earthquake. Actually, it was not making light of the earthquake, just making a sort of a comment about how strange it was to be, that city, you can't get to it. I suppose you could still get there by road, obviously, but so Moskeel was there, Alexandra, Ranfurly, and then this is where we went. We went to Queenstown. I can see there's an airport here. Queenstown is absolutely stunning. The views of these mountains, Cecil Peak 1,978 feet, for example, and I can't read it in the dark, Evra Peak 1,969 in the distance are absolutely incredible. Mount Cadrona 1,936. I've got some absolutely stunning pictures of just stepping out of my hotel room and taking pictures of these incredible mountain ranges in the background. Clyde is here, and then we have this area which is called Southland. Let me just sort out the map. It's quite noisy, I'm glad I did that off camera. So then we have Southland, and we can say Invercargill. We can see that down the south next to Tutus Bay and Porpoise Bay, and the Catlins Forest Park. And then the southernmost point is an island range. This is after the Foveaux Strait. We have North Head, Green Island, South Point, Ruapuke Island, and then we have this Stewart Island, Rakiura, as well as the Mutton Bird Titi Islands, with Big South Cape Island, Southwest Cape, and Codfish Island, Wenuaho, Rugged Island also, and over here Solander Island, Hautere. We can also then finish off with this absolutely stunning area here, which is the Fiordland National Park. Te Anau is here, Tuatapere, Fairfax, Mossburn. So we took a small plane from Queenstown and we went over now where Milford Sound we went to. Milford Sound was discovered by someone called Milford, and he was from Wales. And it is a fjord, and I think he thought it was just a river at one point, but then when he eventually went into it, he realised it was a fjord that went quite a long distance. And we can see Mount Elliot here, 1,990 feet. And Mount Christina, 2,400, I think that's the number 4. And Mount Tutoke, 2,700 feet. As well as all these different fjords, lakes, Lake Te, I can't read it. Apau, Te Apau, I think it says, I think it's a P. Fiordland Marine Reserves, Brown Falls, lots of waterfalls here. Townley Mountains, Coal Island, Chalky Island, West Cape, South Point, Five Fingers Peninsula, Towing Head, Mount Forbes, 1,300 feet, Doubtful Sound. So wherever they say a sound, it's a fjord. Caswell Sound, Nancy Sound. This is similar to Norway in terms of geography and sort of the makeup of it. And there we are, that is the southernmost tip. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed brushing up my knowledge of New Zealand and learning a couple of new things as well that I googled on the way. I hope I didn't do too badly with the Maori names. Apologies if I did. If you enjoyed the video, of course, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You'll love this because there's a huge series of me doing all of these. I've got, let me put my little stick down. Just done Poland, I've got Romania to do next. I've got Greece, Czechia and Slovakia, and I've got Albania and Ireland and Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro and North Macedonia. So I've got a couple to get through, and I've got a couple of my older ones which I'll do as well. So, let me know which one you'd like in the comment section below. I'll put a little video here in a second of another similar video, probably the Polish one. Click on that if you haven't seen it yet or want to try and fall asleep. And thank you so much. Join me on Patreon. Thanks to all the new people who are joining all the time. Thank you for supporting me to buy these materials for the channel, and to thank you, you get 2 exclusive videos a month that never come out on this channel, and early access to every video that does come out on this channel up to a week early, and obviously you get to chat with me as well. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. Okay, so thanks so much for watching everyone, take care, and I'll see you again really soon.